just talking about right now about how the coincidence of the game and it coming out of the same year as Alien Romulus, so you have a very healthy amount of fans who are excited about the franchise, and now they get to live it.
Well, we hope so. I mean, if they get the game and they get inside of the headset, they are going to get a very authentic experience. If you're not going to be able to experience this film interactively in the same way anywhere else. The VR experience is kind of amazing, and we have developers who've been working on it for years, and they put on the headset and you can still hear them screaming from across the room. So it's that sort of unique, and also in terms of the horror, it's very, very authentic to the films.
It's the first Alien game built entirely for VR from bottom up. It's not a port. It is a surreal experience where you can feel the action essentially, right? It's something that only VR, the type of presence and immersion that flat screen or your typical game on a TV doesn't really provide, but a VR does. You can hold the weapon, you can physically reload the clip and slide the rag, and when you see this gigantic xenomorph in front of you, this perfect killing machine organism, the fear and anxiety they can induce in some of the players is kind of surreal. We've literally had people rip off the headset, but if you can stand it, if you can hold your ground, the action, which is more reminiscent of Aliens, the second in the franchise, we borrowed heavily from both. We were inspired by the anxiety-inducing atmosphere of the first one, and yet the action of the second one.
So tell me a little about the sound design and the music and the sounds you're going to hear, because I think for me, when I think of Alien, I think of walking down those corridors and you can hear just a little bit of cackling, a little bit of crunching, and tell me how you're going to...
I'm going to let Eugene take this one, because sound is a very important part of this game, and it goes beyond just what you hear. So I'll let Eugene take that.
Sound is absolutely crucial. You're right. Once we got the base of what we understood to be the xenomorph brain, how it behaves and how it works, it was amazing. We were playing it over and over, and we never knew where it was, because it can come out through the walls. It simulates entire paths and networks of vents, so it can come from a ceiling, come from a wall, pop out of another different type of vent. You never know where it's going to come from, hiding in the dark. You have your motion tracker, and that accounting beep, beep, right? That alone is going to do some anxiety, because now you're trying to search for it. But once the audio team went to work and added proper physicalized sound and reverbs, and is it behind the wall? I can hear it kind of come out through some hollow metal somewhere, and sometimes it's a wire that's banging loose, and sometimes it's a xenomorph, and you never. That is fear, what it's instilling in you.
Sounds terrible in the best way possible.
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, when he also talks about the sort of mistaking environmental elements for a xenomorph, that's intentional, and we're trying to create those moments where you're not sure what it is, and it's sort of recreating that experience of a xenomorph hiding in plain sight. And sometimes it is right there, but sometimes it's not. Yeah.
That does sound terrifying. Have you both been able to put on a VR headset and play a little bit? What was your first reaction when you put it on?
I mean, we're working on it, so we've got them on all the time. And even now, like I was saying, there are developers in the studio who get frightened. And we're fairly well seasoned with the project already, so I can't imagine with something new coming in. Eugene said, we've had people come in to play it and you have torn the headset off. This is a good thing, because they end up putting it back on.
And so people react differently to the game in terms of everybody's threshold of what horror means is different, and that's when the action comes in, right? So you see some people just tear it up and put it down. Others are screaming and laughing like maniacs as they're unloading the pulse rifle clip right into the scene. It's very exciting.
Now talk to me a little bit why the franchise, and obviously we've talked a little bit about it with the little aspects of it, why this franchise is perfect for this game and for the VR and for fans of the franchise.
Well, I don't think you're going to get the same experience or close to the experience of when you're watching the films, you're thinking, what would I do in that situation? Oftentimes, and that's what makes it scary. Well, now you have the opportunity, right? In flat screen, in traditional console, you can create those scary moments, but you can't quite capture the actual feeling. and you are then put in a position where you find out what you would do if you were in that situation.
VR offers unparalleled immersion. There's nothing else. Even the first time people try VR, there's in a room, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. I feel like I'm in that room. Something that traditional console games can't provide.